Just making a quick video. This is a large bench supply I bought on eBay about middle last summer. So it's a few months old and it's kind of a nice, it's old, but it does what I wanted. I wanted something that would go from like 0 to say 12 or 24 volts, and something that was fairly beefy, would do a lot of amperage, and usually switching mode plus power units like have a computer or something like that. They pitch a fit with motors and things, so I figured something like this was my better bet, and I think it's been like, I don't know, maybe like $30 on this thing. It is kind of old, but it's pretty beefy. The front of it's got a voltage selection switch. It goes from 0 to 8 volts or 0 to 16. And fuse, on off switch, voltmeter, amp meter, positive negative terminals, and then there's this knob which controls the voltage. I took this apart today because one of these terminals came loose, and it's not really a binding post, but it's like just a bolt and a rubber grommet on the case, and I just tightened that up. But then I decided, as long as I was in here, I would try and fix this thing a little bit. So I cleaned it out. There was a lot of dust and crap in here, and I was kind of curious how this transformer worked. And basically what this see if I can get a little bit better light on this. Basically, try this. You can kind of see there's a little arm thing there. And basically what that is, if basically that, just a second. Basically what that arm is, down here, that is a Variac wiper. And there's one here, and there's one on the bottom of this thing. I'm not sure what you'd call this transformer. It looks like it's kind of an odd design. It's got the primary on the inside with the secondary on the outside. Same thing on the bottom. And the switch over here did the selection from 0 to 8 or 0 to 16, whatever. That selects one or both of these windings and then puts them in series. And then when you turn this knob to increase the voltage, it moves along this front surface, and that's basically a Variac. And from what I can tell, the transformer hooks out of this transformer into that switch for the voltage. And then there's a common wire that goes into this, which I believe is just a current limiting choke because it's still AC. It comes out of here, goes up to the amp meter and the voltmeter, and then it's also hooked in with some field or rectifier, and I believe each of these is a big diode. And the other side of that, it looks like it's a full wave rectifier because there's a lead out of each side transformer going back and forth, and then you got this filter cap here, which is a 10,000 amp microfarad 40 volt some odd brand, Sangam or something. And the other issue I had with this was, excuse me, the original power cord on this unit was only 2 pins, not polarized, nothing. I figured basically for it being a bench supply and being a metal case and everything, I should probably put a new grounded cord on it. And I was taking the old wires off the switches here. I noticed they bent the wire, and the insulation just cracked into pieces, so. And they had it wired weird. The fuse, the hot and power came into the fuse, went to the transformer. The switch was on the neutral. And I don't really like that type of practice, so I brought the hot into the fuse, then to the switch, same wire on the transformer. Then I took the other wire on the neutral and just soldered it and heat shrunk it to the neutral on the new cord. And then I used the mounting screw on the case to, in the ring terminal, to put the ground wire. And later I'll close it up and put the new cord on. And I just saved the grommet from the old cord so I can fit it in the case and everything. So that's kind of refurbing this thing. I mean, some of this wire is kind of old, but this is mostly low voltage DC or low voltage AC, so I'm not terribly worried about it. Sort of the clothy type stuff, but I don't think it's worth replacing all that. I was more worried about the AC priming. That's basically everything I just did from there to there to the switches. That's pretty much all the main AC voltages. So that's my fix for this thing.